Graded Stakes racing continues, and this time let's take a look at the latest National Thoroughbred Racing Association top older horses. This poll was released on Monday afternoon, and as now some of these tracks are starting to get back into their summer racing schedules, we're still waiting to hear on Belmont, but Churchill Downs has revised their stake schedule. Santa Anita has revised their stake schedule. So let's take a look at where some of these horses and where I kind of rank these as we get to the first week of May of 2020. Now it's kind of interesting. The top two horses in the rankings, Midnight Bisou comes off a loss in the Saudi Cup, and that was her only race in 2020. Now I tend to go more by 2020 accomplishments once we get past April of the current year, whatever year we're looking at these polls. So that kind of surprises me a little bit. Midnight Bisou with 32 first place votes. And you got to remember, she lost in the Breeders' Cup Distaff last year. So she's riding a 2-race losing streak right now. It's not like she's on a long winning streak. Mucho Gusto, he won the Pegasus World Cup handily. And then he lost in the Saudi Cup, finished third. He's pointing for a summer campaign, but no race has been scheduled. By my standards, this is who I would rank number one. He's won 3 races in 2020. He beat the best older horses in training, most recently last weekend at Oaklawn Park. And he has a solid resume from last year. He won the Louisiana Derby, and then he was off from the Kentucky Derby all the way through the rest of the year. So you look at a horse like this, he's won 4 out of his last 5 races, and he seems to have the best resume in 2020. So that surprises me a little bit. Zulu Alpha coming off a loss. He's getting ready for a summer campaign on the turf. Cece, now this is another one you could argue that could be the top dog. She's won a couple of grade 1s in 2020, beat the best older field in training for fillies and mares at Oaklawn Park on the square in a 14-horse field, and then she beat Hard Not to Love, who was riding a 3-race winning streak in that last race at Santa Anita. So Cece is another one I'd probably move up to number 2 based on 2020 accomplishments. Tom's D'Atat, he's got a nice win. He is going to point for the Stephen Foster most likely. Maximum Security is with Bob Baffert now and training for this summer. Whitmore, the classy veteran, I don't have a problem with him being in the top 10. He's got a past resume, he's got current form, and he beat some of the top sprinters in his most recent race. And then Mr. Free is coming off a loss at Oaklawn, but he had won the Gulfstream Park Mile to kind of spruce up that resume, minus the 3rd place finish in the Gulfstream Pegasus World Cup. And then Code of Honor, who had a nice year last year as a 3-year-old. He hasn't raced in 2020, but he does have a Travers victory, and he has been at least working out, although he may not race until July. So could possibly put another horse in there than Code of Honor. If you haven't raced through the April of the current year, I'm just not so sure you should be in the top 10. Who do you think's the top dog as we look into May and June? Would you go with Midnight Bisou or Cece? Or are you more looking at By My Standards or Mucho Gusto? Hit that subscribe button if you're new to the YouTube channel. Also, hit subscribe if you want to get notified of new videos. Share these videos with all your horse racing friends. Who's going to be the 500th subscriber? Hit subscribe as we lead you up to the 2020 Breeders' Cup here at Derbyologist.